Thus, the James Bay Power Development, which he said his government is going ahead with. The James Bay development involves greater power potential than the present Labrador development, a deep-sea port, drastic changing of rivers flowing into the bay, and a spin-off that includes mining development. Its estimated cost is $6 billion.
The Crees were excluded from economic development in the territory, from governance of the territory, from administration of the territory. Everything was decided by non-natives in the South.
My phrase at that time was, let's give our people a way of life that they have known all their lives. And that's the traditional way of life. The life to hunt, fish, and trap. Yet at the same time, give them a life an opportunity to enter into the modern industrial society if they want.
I remember when Robert Wawasa was interviewed, and one of the people said, "Well, what about those Indians living in the James Bay project? What did you consult them?" And he says, "No, we didn't have to." And he says, "Well, we just give them a welfare check, and they're not going to say anything after." But he was wrong.
There wasn't a single Cree who wanted a hydroelectric project. But we were faced with the reality that a project of some kind was going to eventually be built, with or without our consent.
The governments always told the Crees, you have no rights. You are squatters.
We're not going to go around trying to prove that we own it. It's up to the people who are invading it to try to disprove our ownership.
What Quebec did was it enacted a statute which in effect made the north of Quebec, which was the Cree and the Inuit territory, traditional territory, it almost made it a special colony under the control of this corporation called the James Bay Development Corporation, and that was Bill 50. And what that gave the board of directors the power to do was to develop natural resources essentially as it saw fit.
Hydro-Quebec and Quebec government were about to embark on what the people considered the destruction of their land, their river, their way of life, their culture.
Mr. O'Reilly, I said, I'm Chief Billy Diamond from Waskaganish. I said, I have something in mind. I have a court case in mind that's about to make you very, very famous.
It's the last frontier to open in North America, and we cannot afford to make too many mistakes.
Chief Billy Diamond, at one time the youngest Indian chief in Canada, explains the project to his people. His home, Rupert House, will be the last stop on the trip.
The land was never won in battle. The land was never given away. The land was never surrendered. So the only thing that happened was the land was stolen, and what is stolen must be returned. The showdown must come between the province and the Indian. It must come.
He worked all of November to prepare legal proceedings against the government of Quebec, the government of Canada, plus all the crown corporations like Hydro-Quebec and James Bay Development Corporation, James Bay Energy Corporation. We put them all in one package. We did not differentiate. We put them all in one package. Then we said, okay, we'll sue them all. We'll go to court.
The Indians and Inuit of northern Quebec in December 1972 went to Superior Court in Montreal in an effort to bring the giant project to a halt.
It was an 11-point offer. It was a $100 million offer, and we were not happy with it. It did not contain the issues that we wanted to see. And we said, no way, no. No way. Said, we're walking out of here today, but we're not going to have an agreement today. We're walking out of here with our heads held high.
We govern ourselves the way we want to in accordance with our own customs, our own laws, and our own ways.
Rights with regards to hunting, fishing, and trapping, that to the greatest extent possible, that we should continue and maintain those rights which we had before, whether they were recognized or not.
We finally began to hear, what else do you want to discuss? What else can we do?
Control over education. Cree's running their own education. Control over health and social services.
And I said, Mr. Chacha, how about categories of land? Small piece of land, we'll call it Category 1.
Category 1 were the actual land of the communities in total control of the Crees.
Category 2 will be for the exclusive use of the Cree for hunting, fishing, and trapping.
The government would not be able to reduce that area and would have to maintain it forever.
And Category 3 would be the other lands outside of that, as long as you recognize the Cree rights.
Category 3, it's also subject to development, but the Crees can hunt, fish, and trap, and there can be some non-native hunting and fishing, not trapping. The Crees have the exclusive right to trap throughout the Cree territory.
The Cree people first opposed the James Bay Hydroelectric Project because they felt that their way of life was threatened. Since the announcement of the project, we have gone through a court action, and now we have finished negotiations, and we are prepared to sign a final agreement.
Well, I had mixed emotions. Mixed emotions were, have I done the right thing for the people of the Cree Nation? Are they going to be better off, or are they going to be worse off?
But I knew that deep down this was the right thing for the Cree people. I knew that this was going to be the catalyst that was going to push us forward.